when you have like 2 cameras and one does that and then you're live on the other one.
Sorry. And look, we don't even have her on camera with us. This is pathetic. Hi guys, it's Tamra. We're going to try this again.
Igniting the soul for better clarity, communication, and connection. For the best strategies to improve your clarity, communication, and connection, subscribe to my channel and hit the bell to be notified when I post a new video every Wednesday.
So we are actually going to share a little bit about what's going on in her world and some of the great, amazing, inspirational things that she is doing. And I'm going to chime in, if you don't mind, and share some of my things as well. Yeah. So Nicole, why don't you first share a little bit with my audience who you are, because they're just meeting you for the first time and they want to share with how amazing you are. So brag away.
Yeah, definitely. Hi, I'm Nicole Caldwell. I am an intuitive development expert and mentor for women leaders and entrepreneurs. And I support women with tapping into their feminine superpowers, which
literally tapping.
Yeah,
she loves tapping. It was a very cool thing I learned about yesterday from her. I actually was exposed to it before, but I didn't know that part of you. So that's very cool.
Yeah,
and many other talents as well.
For sure, and really supporting you and reconnecting to the power of your intuition, so you can deeply trust yourself and make clear decisions, be more magnetic, and have more peace, freedom, and flow in your life, and ditch and drop the struggle and the self-sacrifice, and reclaim your power.
Self-sabotage.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Self-sacrifice is good too. We do a lot of that, don't we?
Yeah.
We were actually just sharing before this about how she likes to sigh heavy to help release a lot of that and be in this. She's like, she sighed heavy, and I was like, are you okay? She's like, no, that was a good sigh. I was like, oh, I like that. And so I think it's really important. I'm actually going to go right into it if you're okay with that. About recognizing how often we hold on to breath instead of being in the flow of things. And a lot of the times we think a heavy sigh means there's trouble or struggle. And I love the fact that she celebrates the fact that this is her just melting more into something and celebrating it. And we were talking about some of these kind of ooby groovy words that a lot of people will use, and we were laughing how we're not really that kind of people, but at the same time there's no other word to describe it. So it was a funny moment this morning. We were just really melting more into this concept of being at one and being in the moment and being peaceful with the flow of what's showing up. So it's been a hustle. It was a hustle this morning. Did you feel stressed out this morning? Was it a hustle?
It was like, I felt like it was like the old patterns, right? Like the stuff that doesn't serve me and where I'm going, coming up, trying to like grab hold. It was like what it feels like. Yeah. And it was like really taking the tools that I've learned and that I use with clients and really applying them to my situation and not allowing the outside circumstances to derail what I'm creating and what I know is here for me now.
Right. I think it's so important. I think a lot of us, as we start navigating a lot of this opportunity that we like to discover in our lives, and we see these hurdles as blocks, and I know, as I've shared with you guys many times, I see them as really cool golden opportunities to shift your perspective, do something different, experiment with more possibility. Like if it's something you're totally afraid of, go into it and try and see if it's a fear of failure or if it's an opportunity to expand and try something different. I always say fear, go there. That's my thing. Do you say something like that?
I love that. Well, fear for me, I heard it from Neil Donald Walsh and it really stuck with me, is feeling excited and ready.
Ooh, I like that.
Like really changing that perspective
feeling excited and ready. So you can see what is that when you use the first letter of each word?
An acronym.
Thank you. That's what I was going to say, but I wasn't sure. Don't want to make too much of a jerk out of myself. Yeah, I love that. Got your back. Too funny. Yeah, so I think a lot of the times, you can use some of these faulty beliefs. I'm right now currently working on a program focused on anxiety and how to actually recognize anxiety as a superpower. Is there anything you're knowing that you're working on currently that you would like to help everyone know about?
Yeah, really. I have a group program that's open for enrollment, and really it's designed to help women tap into their intuition, really learn how your unique intuition operates for you, how to connect to it, listen to it, and not only listen to it, trust it, and also maintain that connection. Because so many times it feels like, we have this spotty connection, like, oh, that was my intuition there. Sometimes I feel connected, but how do we maintain that connection and bring that into all areas of our life? Not just, oh, with my cards or in my spiritual realm, but also in business, also with your family, also with what lights you up in recreation as well. It doesn't have to just be for the serious stuff, just growing your business or that. It also spills into what lights you up.
Yeah. Living in your passion, finding your purpose, connecting to it. You know, I was talking to someone this morning. They were talking about a TED Talks that was, this one was discussing about, you know, this big craze right now about finding your passion and living to your passion, you know, figuring out what your agenda is and all this hustle, right? And I loved what they were sharing with me about it, is how that can create an intense anxiety.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting that we dial into the recognition that it's not about achieving or obtaining, but experiencing. And I feel like we get really lost in that hustle and really trying to obtain something or control or be worthy of something and try to like pull the value in when you're already valuable enough. And there's this possibility of experiencing more of yourself in these connections instead of continuing to just chase a dream or chase a goal.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, like that resonates so much and something that I've really been feeling into, because I feel that a lot of us are like, what is my purpose? You know, what is my purpose here? And what I've really felt like leaned into, it's like our purpose is joy. Our purpose is being happy and doing those things that fulfill us. And when we're fulfilled, we're in our purpose. And we're in our purpose wherever we go. It's not just this one thing, a career or this one act. It's every day. How can you serve and be more fulfilled in your life?
Yeah. I do. I think fulfillment is something, you've got the achievement and then you have the fulfillment. And I think a lot of us chase more of the achievement thinking it'll bring us fulfillment.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I have learned that they are totally two separate things.
Yes.
To achieve a goal, to aspire to be, to create is all in the achievement category for me. But fulfillment for me is connection.
Yeah.
So I look at connecting to, like, for me, a hike, yoga, time with family, time with loved ones, time with friends, even new friends. So getting a chance to spend time with you guys, to me, this is fulfilling. It's not really agenda focused, but more connective. And I think it's really important that we celebrate those moments just as much as our achievements, because I think achievements are valuable. They help us see that we're growing and show potential and possibility. But I think we have a tendency to kind of hyper-focus in one direction instead of expand in that direction.
Right. And it feels like when you are fulfilled and you're following that fulfillment, that's your intuition leading you, and you find miraculously, amazingly, these amazing opportunities, people, places, situations, like how we even met was one of those divine synchronicities of me following my joy and my bliss, that I received this invitation and I was drawn to you and just felt like, oh my gosh, what's up? Like, where have you been? Like, we're just like,
so true. It was a very cute experience.
Connecting right where we left off.
It was really neat. We actually met at the Wishman event. That was the premiere of the movie. It was an amazing event. A lot of beautiful people were there. But it was so cute. She and I were just standing right next to each other and instantly connected. It was like literally like we'd known each other forever. So it's one of those neat experiences when I think you're in congruency with, you know, the things that are moving around you and kind of in a receiving mode as well as giving.
Yeah.
Things like that just snap. It's so cool, right? It really does pop into place. So it's kind of a fun experience. Have you guys ever had something like that? I would love to hear below if you've ever had experiences where you followed your intuition or you did something that just made you pull into something unexpected and then you were rewarded by kind of falling fearlessly into something totally foreign or new. Because I think a lot of the times we look at things we failed at instead of things we've succeeded at. And I think it'd be a fun kind of practice right now to become aware and show a little self-gratitude to being bold and stepping into some of these uncomfortable spaces. So it is, I think it's a challenge. I think it can be a very big challenge to do new things because we have these faulty beliefs running. And they do self-sabotage our intuition, which is, I think, a lot of what you love to focus on is helping people recognize that when they're not following their intuition versus when they are.
Yeah.
So kind of the cool thing about her and her magnificence that she gets to offer us. So tell me a little bit about your beautiful daughter. She has a 4-year-old angel that she has a really cool relationship with, and I'd love to hear. We talked about it a little bit yesterday when my microphone wasn't working on mine. So it was one of those moments where you call somebody up and you're like, yeah, you know that great show we just did? Nada. It didn't work. Really good moment. I have those a lot, right, guys? We know that. It's okay. It's all good. But so anyway, I would love to, if you could, again, share the amazing gifts that you, I love the way you have this beautiful relationship that you talk about with your daughter.
Yeah. So I have a beautiful daughter named Quinn. She's 4 years old. And she really, I feel like my journey with her is really to support and guide her and allow her to stay connected, because I truly believe kids, we all do, we come in fully connected, fully in tune, in our power. And, you know, things happen along the way where we stop trusting ourselves and we don't follow our intuition. And having this awareness now, I am doing my best to have her trust her intuition and guide her, as opposed to being the authoritarian figure that assumes I know what's best for her. Am I 100% perfect at this? No. But
darn programming.
Right? But this awareness has allowed me to lean into and explore something I had no idea even existed. I feel like the kids that are being born now are honestly calling us to do things differently. Like there's no way that I could continue with my control freak ways and raise her and have peace and have fulfillment, right? And so she's brought me the greatest gift in surrendering and allowing myself to open up to my truest bliss and follow my passion and what fills me up and share that with others.
Absolutely. Oh, I so get that. Yeah. I do. I think a lot of the times the biggest treasure we get are people to mirror us back and help us see opportunities like this. Because when we melt into the experience and allow us to receive in those different ways, it's just so cool. I also have 3 kids. So I've been gifted the experience 3 times with being able to surrender in different personalities. So it's kind of an interesting experience that the lesson gets magnified, I think. I mean, every child brings their own different stories and opportunities to support them through. So, and I do have a very similar belief system that they came here to do their own life's work. And we're here to support them and encourage them to push beyond some of the limitations that the rest of the world tells us we can't do. 100%. So, and I actually have a little special name for it. You want to hear what I call it? I call it the public mantra. The people and what they say and how they behave, it's very tribal, but not necessarily supportive.
Right.
And I find it really interesting that a lot of the times, you know how, here's a couple of examples. You know, if you're out in the dating world and you'll hear, oh, all the pretty girls only want the rich boys. Or, you know, all men want are young women. It's fascinating to me that these statements aren't really based on truth. I mean, there are people that definitely validate those examples, but not every woman is fulfilled by a man who's a sugar daddy or, is beautiful and it doesn't have depth of beauty beyond the shell. It's so important to connect to all aspects of our lives. So I think it's really interesting how these public mantras have altered our ability to show up in life and connect to each other. So I like to shift it to blame in the right place and say we have a lot of dysfunction. And I know a lot of people love the term mantras, and I think there are great mantras out there, don't get me wrong.
Right.
But we also have to recognize the polarity of our mantras. Are they serving us, or are they taking us down?
Yeah.
And so I think a lot of the times we sit there and say things that our systems are automatically deflecting or defensive against. And I really want people to follow their heart's calling and follow that intuition and connect, because we connect by our hearts. We don't connect by our minds. We connect in relation and reasonability and coping through our mind. But our true sense of family and supporting each other is a heartfelt intention. And I think we need to really focus on the difference between that. So
I agree. It's about teaching them how to think as opposed to what to think.
Yes. Or how to feel.
Yes, for sure.
Connecting to your feelings and understanding that you actually feel things first, then you think them out.
Right.
It's not the other way around.
Right.
And I think we do it so fast. We think, oh, I just must think that. And no, you actually felt it first. So it's really kind of a fascinating superpower that we can shift and create. I call it giving breath between the thoughts. So instead of being so quick to react or so quick to respond, take that moment and pause. And if it's someone giving you a compliment, you take a step back and you go, like your size earlier. Wow, thank you for that. That's really cool. I really received something. Value the connection and allow yourself to feel fulfilled with that. Instead of, another notch on the belt. Yeah, that person thinks I'm hot, Like you really need to embrace some of the, negative and positive feedback. So I think it's important to have both. So has your daughter given you much challenge?
Not at all. It's been so easy.
Yeah.
Right. Just kidding.
Look at her. I got that mastered.
I mean, I feel like, they say having a child's the quickest way to enlightenment. And enlightenment meaning in light, really having you explore these ways of how can you be full of light and be this light for your child and guide them. Yes. Because I feel like it's about how I be, not what I say. It's how I act, how I show up is what's she's modeling. And so that's been where I've wanted to grow and make sure that I am being the example and the role model that I want her to mimic, right?
Right? Yeah, to connect to.
Yeah.
You know what, it's funny. I think when I first, it was actually when I first had my firstborn, it was pretty intense because I had this programmed belief of how a parent should look, right? And what the experience should feel like. A child should listen, and all the stories that are so cliche about being a parent. And later on, I made a mistake. I remember one day, just really, it was totally obvious. There was no hiding from it. And I just looked at him and I said, you know what, sweetheart, mommy just messed that up. So I'm sorry, you're totally allowed to be angry with me about that. And he looks at me and goes, it's okay, I'm already not angry. It was funny because he was a little guy. He's like, I'm already not angry. And I'm like, cool. The minute if I had pushed into trying to hide or deflect, I would have carried the story of shame and he would have made it okay to lie, which was really an interesting awareness to realize that, like you said, how you show up is what they're going to mirror back to you. Yeah. So it's kind of a cool opportunity right off the bat that I'm like, actually, it's good to say I messed up and to really embrace and actually celebrate messing up. So it's kind of fun.
Yeah, I truly agree. I feel like that's been one of the greatest lessons is being able to just say, I'm sorry, I've messed up, and just apologize and to my child, right? Because a lot of times we feel like, oh, I'm supposed to be the parent here. I have to have
perfect.
Yeah, and that's been, I feel like, just the biggest sense of relief to just be me, all of me, and be truthful and show her that it's okay to feel all of these feelings.
Absolutely.
All of the feelings on the human spectrum, and it's okay for her to as well. And we can hold space for each other to do what it is that we need to do.
So what's your proudest moment as a mom?
Who?
I got her like this yesterday too.
Oh man!
She's like, darn it.
So these things aren't scripted, right? It's really
I got her.
Flow. I mean, I feel like there's quite there's been so many, but I feel like recently I've seen all of my work that I've been doing on myself come to fruition, to see it stick, I guess, so to speak, right? Me really embodying it, me feeling upset and me feeling like I want to scream. I'm feeling like I want to lose control and not knowing what to do. And in the past, maybe I would have snapped at her or her father or something like that, or carried it with me in the day and not allowed myself to feel it. And, I said, I need alone time. And I took myself, the alone time, the space I was going to have was in the car, and her, you know, she was inside with her dad. And so I went in the car and took that time to take deep breaths, to feel whatever I needed to feel, to do my breath work, to do my meditation, to journal it out and allow myself to process all what I was feeling, where before I wouldn't have given myself permission or the room to do that. And so I was then able to go back in feeling great and just like, all right, mom's good. Like, yeah, like, and whereas I would have brought that into my day in the past and like, oh, well, I guess I'm going to have like, I'm going to be like, you know, like have this like hanging over me, right? And allow it to affect my day, as opposed to that's just something that happened and I felt it and I was able to heal it because I felt it. You got to feel to heal.
Yes, no doubt. You know, and I think it's when I was listening to you speak about that, one of the things that I think that I struggled with in the past is I would hustle and rush and try to get things like, you know, I had 3 kids, you know, boys had to get to football, my daughter had to get to ballet, I was the backstage mom, I was the football mom, I was also preschool board, and I was a deacon, and I just had all the hats, and I had my own business, I did sculptured cakes. Yeah, I was the girl who said yes to everything, and yeah, I spread myself too thin, and I had zero patience for myself as I would go through combative incidences. And I found myself like, you know, just like, more mad at myself that I didn't have the empathy or the bandwidth to hold the intensity.
Right.
And so once I softened and accepted and started to practice saying no.
All right, yeah.
Which is not as easy as it sounds. I mean, I literally mastered saying, you know what, sounds great, but I'll have to get back to you on that. No now, but I will let you know if I can actually accommodate that. And it was kind of interesting because when I did that, I was able to pick and choose things that I could do authentically and fully.
Yes.
And it created amazing space and patience within me, and I started to enjoy all the things I was doing. Yeah. So I was saying no to some really great opportunities, but also saying yes to some magnificent opportunities to connect with people in different ways. So I think that, you know, in like mind, for me, I was pushing. I wanted to be everything to everyone else because I didn't want them to be uncomfortable. That was my mother role at some point. Yeah. And I think at some point it actually did also corrode my relationship with my ex-husband because at the time, you know, I was pushing, I was spreading, that I wasn't patient, or it wasn't like a impatience in the relationship, but I didn't have time to nurture my relationships.
Yeah.
So it was a very ultimate sacrifice for clarity.
Yes. To
learn that I lost someone special to me in order to learn something about life. So it's a very intense. I mean, there's obviously other things that corrode a marriage, but you know, there are parts that you contribute that you need to take ownership for, and that was my one big one out of that, recognizing the overburden.
Oh yeah, I can so relate. Like we're of course we're meant to be together here today, and yeah, I can relate to that too. Seeing where, you know, the relationship with my daughter's father was, I was chasing, right, like focused on achievement, and then yet trying to do everything and thinking that, oh, I have to hustle and self-sacrifice what I truly want and to have it all, right? And it's like really the opposite of it. Like it's really about taking care of you and then being able to pour into others. And you don't have to hustle and sacrifice in order for that to happen. It's one of those public mantras that you're talking about. I'm a quick learner here. You know, where we think that's like the way things have to be. We have to sacrifice to be success.
Supermom syndrome.
Right. Absolutely. Like you have to do it all and spread yourself thin to make it work, or you really can't you have to wait till your children are grown to be able to pursue your passions and all of these things. And it's like, if it doesn't feel good to you, if it's not resonating with you, it's not your truth.
Not resonating with anybody else either.
It's like, right? What really
like,
is
what
ours?
are we doing here?
Yes.
Yeah.
Really, seriously.
Insane.
Yeah.
It is funny because, you know, it's funny is I used to hear this all the time. What haven't you done? Or, you know, like, because I love to be artistic. I love to be creative, and I love to communicate, and I love to dance, and there's a lot of things I love to do. So if I do anything, I do it fully.
Yes.
And so I think being a super mom, I'm a recovering super mom,
yeah.
so, addict, whatever. And I have learned to embrace those elements and recognize that this life is supposed to be abundant with opportunities to try as much of life and grow that emotional range, right? For me, I loved what you said earlier about, the whole point was to follow your joy. I have a belief that not only to follow your joy, but to connect to that community, the connection of joy. Yeah. So really spending time in nurturing relationships. Maybe it's the side effect of the divorce or having children, but it's more invaluable to me now to have depth of relationships and communication. So I shifted my business into communication and being more neutral so that you can create opportunity and safe place for joy to exist in relationships. And I think a lot of the times we don't realize how much we put out there is actually what's being bounced back at us. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So being the busy mom, working really hard, trying to make everything happy, and literally when the day is done, you're exhausted. The world around you has had enough of you trying to put on all these masks and realizing you're totally disconnected.
Yeah.
So it was a really beautiful opportunity to shift some really cool things for me. So that was my rebirth.
Yeah.
My rebirth day was a lot of that awareness of really recognizing that it's an opportunity. So
100%. I feel like with motherhood, a lot of it I had kind of secluded myself, right? Feeling like, oh, no one's going to get what I'm feeling because I had postpartum depression and anxiety and secluding myself. And then through this, over this evolution since becoming a mother, that's been what I've been doing, is creating community that is safe, to where women can celebrate.
Absolutely.
And just show up authentically and be heard and seen wherever it is that they are in life, right? Mm-hmm. We don't have to hide. Mm-hmm. And through women's circles, through hosting these, we found we're not alone. Yeah. Right?
Yes.
And it's just, we just want to be acknowledged and know we're supported and we're not alone.
Absolutely. I do think that, like women, men need it too. So I'm not alienating, because I actually predominantly support the male tribe, helping them find their voice in their relationships. So for me, just like women, we need that community, that safe place to be vulnerable, to be exposed, and to be supported for what's going on. I feel like it's just as important, if not more so, for men to have their tribe.
100%.
And it's very rare, and I am so blessed with men that are willing to let me hold space as they work through some of this stuff. I'm sure they prefer to have another male partner to listen, or a buddy to hear and understand, but I am super grateful that those are the spaces I get to hold and celebrate. So I just think that across the board, it is about being seen in the struggle and not being told you should do it different or you should show up differently, but to be completely open and exposed. So I am super grateful you joined me today.
Thank you.
I actually want to invite you to come back maybe once a month and we do this. Would that be cool?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do that. It's just like a moment where I'm I'm going to do this live. I don't even care. She says no, I totally do. I hate you, Tamra. So I would love to continue to do this. I think she's an amazing, beautiful, gorgeous soul, and I'm just so honored to have time with her. So I'm going to actually ask you guys to please respond somewhere in either one of these two feeds, since we have two going at the same time. Share with us some things you would like us to discuss. Reach out to us and ask questions of either one of us about things that you heard in this conversation or things that you would like to learn more about. We'd be honored to support you and continue the relationship here and cultivate our own little community. So thank you so much. If you want to see this again later on, because I know after a while on Facebook it's impossible to find us, I post and I actually edit and repost this on YouTube. So if you'd like to see this or other shows just like this, go ahead and join me on YouTube at Soulfire Igniter.
Yay, awesome. And you can find me on Facebook, Nicole, Nicholle Caldwell.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. Have an awesome day, and make you shine, or make it shine. Make you shine. Show up.
Right.
Be the best version of you today, and don't forget to focus on clarity, communication, and connection.